Hello. Oh, you hardcore boxing fans out there, how you doing? It's Big P here, you know, don't you? You know, that's why you've tuned in. Today we're joined by Max with the Volvo out of a breadcrumb. How you doing, Maxie?
I'm good, mister. Yourself?
You what?
I'm good, mister. Yourself?
Bang on.
Looking more healthy and better by the day.
Yeah, I've just been in hospital just now. Still can't go to gym till well into next year, but we're getting there a bit slow. Anyway, it's a boring story that way back east. Right. A lot been going on in the sport of boxing. I thought I'd get your take on it. But first of all, how is your training going?
Good. It's getting better now. I'm getting a lot better than I was. I'm down Sheffield tonight extra to do sparring. I'm coming down tonight to do sparring at Chris's gym. He's got 2 heavyweights in for me. So I've got to be there for 8 o'clock. And got some heavy sparring. So, yeah.
What, you sparring, Max? Do me a favour.
Just get anything to wipe me out.
Fucking ruthless, aren't I?
I know you are, isn't it? It's like, fucking hell. So when you on the Terry the other day, about the fearing and that. Oh, yeah. Well, don't worry about Max. It's just a marshmallow, right? But yeah, they're interested in me.
Right. But John Fury, big fighting man. Women love him, men want to be him. Pop, pop, bang, end of bum. He's piped up yet again. And it looks like he's on back foot now. What do you think to it all? What do you think to all what's going on, Maxie?
You know what? It's the same old circus act, isn't it? He just can't. He can't leave it alone, can he? He can't leave it alone. He's got to keep going. I know his son. Look, let his sons do the talking, and anything at a dig. He's trying to set the story when Tommy loses, and when Tommy loses, right, he's gonna say, steroids. And he's trying to set the tone, isn't he? So, yeah, he can't help himself, but he's going to have to take a look at himself because he's not leading greatly from example. He's backed out against Mickey, right? He's doing what he's doing on BT by saying all these different things like bending over. He's just making a mockery of himself, and people are going to start distancing himself. He had a good thing going at BT. He had a good thing, and he was lucky to get in there. If he kept his gob shut in the right way, he could have been like a permanent pundit on there. You know what I mean? Eventually, but he shot himself in the foot massively, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done a couple of videos on this channel. Is it Boxing King Media or something? Not a couple of short videos. He's dug himself in an hole, and now he's saying he wants to throw Eddie Hearn in it and bury him.
But why though? I mean, what I don't get it. What? Because Eddie Hearn casted an opinion saying it was filth and disgusting, which it was.
There's a rumor going around about Eddie Hearn that I've heard for years, and I don't think Eddie would want it going around. There's a few people heard it. I heard it. I didn't believe it at first, but maybe it's that. I don't know what to believe, to be honest. I mean, this is how I love it. Men love him. Women want to be him.
My God.
No, I'm only joking. Look, we can have a bit of banter about it, and John says that's all it is, banter, isn't it?
But the problem is with John though, when it goes pointed at his way, he gets annoyed, and he ends up saying, all these different things, So, what's banter and what's not banter? I'd like him to enlighten me. What's the banter? Is the banter his lies or him having 100k bare knuckle fight? Who was that against?
I don't need to tell anybody who I fought. I can't remember the man's name for life of me, but I knocked him out. He was 1992 Irish bare knuckle champion, and I put him into orbit. I forgot the man's name, but I left in a tranny van with 100 bags.
And you know, in challenging every man over 50. Why did he fill his nappy when Mickey said, "Yeah, I'll have some of that"? Why did he fill his nappy? You know.
You know, Mick. Mick can fight and he's fit. He's fit. He'll just be there all day throwing punches. I've never seen anybody as fit in my life for his age, fitness-wise, stamina-wise. Powerful man, powerful. Mick can get you up close, lock his arms on you, and lift you up and throw you about all over for a short man. Very, very powerful. And who knows? Maybe John didn't want to fight him because he didn't want to be in the ring with Mick there, looking like sliced along, and John there looking like the bayonet bleeder. You know him who fought Ali.
You know what? I think it's more to that. You know, Russ. I think it's more to it than that. I think when you did the research and found out about him, Mick, yeah, knowing he's Lenny's right-hand man, right? Yeah. Knowing all these different things about him, and you know, obviously being involved in things that Mick has been involved, I think he filled his nappy and think, oh, fucking hell, this guy means business. He's not just an average Joe. Well, and I think that's what.
Wrong.
Gone.
No, yeah. Oh, you think he's not?
Yeah, and yeah. So that's what I think has happened. You know, he's researched him a bit, and obviously he's got an aura about him, Mick. Even when you're in his presence, when he's nice now, he has an aura about him. And I'll tell you what, yeah, not what I want to get on the wrong side of. And I think John sort of found that out very vaguely and did a U-turn, handbrake on, return.
Clutch, reverse, park, and brake. Listen, this is how I look at it, right? We got word back, oh, John's working with BT now, blah, blah, blah. He don't want to be putting himself out there doing stuff like this and stuff like that. Well, if BT have dropped him, let's get at it. As far as I'm concerned, him and Mick need to get at it, don't
they? We both know Mickey will have it all day long. In the words of Tyson, 7 days a week and twice on a Sunday. And John, I've never known anyone talks about it so much and about the fighting, but it doesn't do out. I've never known it.
I don't need to prove myself to anybody. I fight people in my head. I go to bed at night and I knock people out, but it's all in my head. I'm not really a fighting man. I'm a fairy.
What was that film he says he was out of? Is it Braveheart? What was he? Leper in the loft.
See that film Braveheart? You know that guy, that him in loft, that leper. I'm him. Maybe I should give Mick a ring and see if he wants to come back on channel and see if he's still up for fighting John, because he don't like to speak about him now and he's not bothered about social media. Only reason Mick joined social media, because let's have it right, it's a fucking zoo, in it. Only reason Mick joined it was because John put a challenge out to all men in the country over 50. He said, I'll fight any man in this country over 50, in the ring or on the hard road, for free or for money. Mick went, yes, please. It all got arranged, and then somewhere along the line, people's arseholes fell out, and it weren't Mick's.
I've never known anyone like Mick tried so hard to get that, and he wasn't one for not trying. He tried his heart out to, you know, wanted it, and you know, literally like how Kell Brook wanted Khan. You know what I mean? It might happen when they're 17, Russ.
Might what?
Might happen when they're 17. You know what I mean? When they're older.
Well, all he's doing is talking about being this big fighting man and invade my space and I'll drop you where you stand. All this big chit chat, he's just hanging himself, right? He don't fight people. And there's not one person can come forward and say they had a bare knuckle fight with John Fury. Not one person. And he said he's 100 and odd fights and won them all. Not one person. I know people that have knocked him about in sparring, but not one person has come forward and said, yeah, I fought John Fury in a bare knuckler. Not one travelling person or one fighting man. So I don't believe anything the man says. And like I said, he's on back foot now. He's on the outside looking in. So John Fury, if you're watching this on my members area, why don't you? You won't be though, will you? Why don't you get in touch with Mick? Get it put to bed and show us that you're this big, tough, fighting man.
You know what? He's gonna have. He's got to prove himself. You know, what's it going to take for him to see him actually in action? You know what I mean? What's going to take it? You know what I mean? Do you have to get in his space? Imagine if you get in his space and he doesn't do anything. How embarrassing would that be?
Mega embarrassing. Mega.
You know, that's what's going to stage, because someone's going to do it and someone's going to be daring enough to do it. But you know what it is? Like these seminars, and he's got about 10 people hanging out the back of him, and you know, get near him anyway. So you know, it's
look, they're playing the game well, aren't they? Look, Tyson, we're going to do this and we're going to do that to Vladimir for years, and they waited till they got, oh look, they've played the game perfectly, but it's blown up in John's face. It hasn't blown up in Tyson's face because he's conducted himself as well as he can. But the father's showing him set up. But it's one of them things. Hey, what do you think to trainers my kids got me for pinball?
Is that another new pair? You know,
I gave them away after 3 months. I put them in wash and I gave them away. I never had them as a kid, did I? All them spoilt fuckers up at that school from Tickhill, Wadham, Brayford, they had them and I didn't. I thought, right, when I'm older, I'm going to have loads of pairs.
You do wear some nice clobber. I'll give you that. You do wear some nice stuff.
Max, crawl out my arsehole. Dogs do that. You're not a dog, are you?
You've been watching Snatch again.
Yeah. All right. Have you been out for a run this morning, Max?
Yep.
How far did you run?
Just short of 3 miles.
Max, stop tickling my leg. You pissed all over it, mate. You haven't run 3 miles this morning.
I'll tell you what, when I get up tomorrow morning, right, I'll text you. Then when you fucking bollock me for waking you up, right, I can't win with you.
I'm up at 6 a.m. Max. I'm up at 6.
I was up earlier than that.
Oh, fucking hell, Rocky. Hey, Rocky. What were your raw eggs in a cup?
I'm steady on there. Fucking hell. Give me some credit. Fuck that. But no, yeah, I was out this morning. So, you know, and I've got sparring tonight, obviously, down at 8 o'clock at King's. So you know.
Okie dokie. Are you ready for a thrashing tomorrow at snooker?
Let's be honest, right? How gutted would you be if I beat you?
At snooker?
Yeah.
Do you know, after we've played first frame, after about 10 minutes, you'll be like, oh. What I'll do then with you, Max, I said, look, Max, let me just show you a few little things how to play. I'm going to take you through the basics. You know, just the basic things, because the secret is to control the cue ball. I mean, you know, a lot of players that I notice, they're all percentage players, aren't they? The greats take risks. Alex Higgins, Jimmy White, Judd Trump, Ronnie O'Sullivan. They take risks. I like to go for them. I'm not into all that safety play like Chris Smedley.
That's going to be the fucking plan tomorrow.
What?
That's the plan tomorrow. Fucking frustrate you. It's the only way to get under your skin.
You'll be playing with an house cue. I'll be playing with a 1930 Burroughs and Watt first.
I mean, you're changing the rules. This is what you do. You change the rules. I don't know who's worse. You or John Fury. You both changed the goalposts.
I'll let you share the cue, Max. Don't you worry about it. Right. Amir Khan press conference. We'll get this. We'll cover Amir Khan press conference.
Yeah.
Then I've got to go back because I've got Kent coming on. You know, 6'4" Ken, 6 foot of him was his neck. So somebody said, sorry about that, Ken.
Who wallpapers his fucking house in boxer wear? You know,
there's no wrong with Ken. He's a good bloke.
Amir Khan and Kel Brook.
Yeah.
Press conference. Wow. Do you know what? I agree with a lot of things you said the other day, but I just feel it's too late a little bit.
Too late? Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of years ago, 1997, I came out of jail and I asked this bird out, and she was like, nice. And she went, what would I go out with you for? And I was like, oh, okay. So I left it. I was crushed. I was like, ah. Anyway, I seen it the other day. 3 kids to 3 different geezers on Skid Row on social. At bus stop, and I just went like that. Ah. There you go. And that's karma. And this is like that, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It's no good no more. It's all damaged, isn't it? They've been knocked about, haven't they? Just like that bird, she's been knocked about, hasn't she? Well, 3 kids to 3 different geezers stood at a bus stop. Where's your convertible Peugeot now, love? Aye. Teeth all missing and all that.
Oh,
I had a lucky escape, you know.
Wow. Yeah, Kel Brook and Carl. Who do you think wins that?
I think it would be like Porridge. You know, and they're both connected with punches in that film Porridge, and they both got laid out. Well, I think you'd have to say Amir Khan's a favourite on ability and speed, and Kel's damaged face. Amir Khan's like a poor man's Crawford, isn't he, at the moment? But that's enough to deal with Kell Brook, in my opinion. So yeah, Amir Khan, in my opinion.
I don't know. You look at Kell Brook. Yeah, he's taken some damage. Yeah, he's taken some damage. He's by the way, he's not the Kell Brook that he was. Okay, but I just think he's got that one fight in him where he can get up for. And I just think if he can just survive an early sort of, because he comes out the traps quite fast, Amir Khan, don't he? You know, if he survives the onslaught of him, I think he could take him. And I'm going to go with just Kell Brook.
Go on then.
But they both got a weak chin. Both of them got weak. As soon as one of them connects, done, isn't they? Really, to be honest.
All right, Babby. We're going to do it for fans, Eddie. For fans. I'm behind it. Look, is it any worse than what they're putting on at the moment? No. Is it any better than what they're putting on? Than most fights, yeah. And because Eddie Hill's the 4-0 Iceman from Billericay, 3 by way of. Because he's not involved.
That's like
behind it.
What do you reckon the purse bid was for that?
Hang on a sec. Oh, you scared me to death there. I was filming. Take a pill. Yeah, go on.
What do you reckon the purse bid?
I thought we had burglars. I thought we had burglars. Yeah, go on.
What do you reckon the purse bid was on that fight? What do you reckon it was worth?
I was saying that Eddie Hearn. Amir Khan says that Eddie Hearn bid the most money for the fight with DAZN for him and Kell. But how can they've gone to Sky? So they've obviously shafted Eddie. But this is how I look at it. If Eddie Hearn bid the most money, right, and they never went with him, it means that Eddie Hearn wanted options on the winner of them. And that means they would have been fighting whoever he wanted to put them in with for a couple of fights for less money, and they don't want to be tied to him. Nobody wants to work with him. So Eddie's on the outside looking in. It's a little bit like when people kept saying, oh, Carl Froch swerved Joe Calzaghe. Frank Warren made the offer to Mick Hennessy. Yeah, Frank Warren did make an offer to Mick Hennessy. But what people forgot is If Carl Froch beat Calzaghe, he would have had to rematch Calzaghe. He then would have had to have a further 3 fights with Frank Warren. So why should Carl Froch build up all his career to the big moment and then to be tied to Frank Warren for 5 fights when he's a Mick Hennessy fighter? So these people who put these offers in, yeah, they want options on them. And that's no good. Mick Hennessy just didn't want to sit back and let Frank Warren take over his career. Boxing don't work like that. If Eddie Hearn bid the most money and they didn't take it, it means that there were options on the winner and probably the loser. So why be tied to a cunt like that? Do you know what I mean? That's how I look at it anyway.
Do you know what it would have been? Do you know what? I'll tell you what it would have been, Russ, right? He would have tied him and feed one of them to Conor Benn. That's what will happen.
Yeah. Well, what do you think took press conference?
Do you know what it is? Do you know you can see there's a bit of hatred, but do you think it's staged, more staged than it is? Do you think it's?
It looked to me like a load of greedy old men trying to flog 2 dead horses. Kell Brook's dad, who sat there and said, "Oh, I mean, you can't reason why Kell's career's ended up like it is." No, they've all got to take responsibility. Dominic Ingle and Terry Brook. Kell Brook beat a world-class elite fighter in Porter. After that, he's fighting Jojo Dan, Kevin Bizier, Frankie Gavin, people like that. That's when his career went downhill. And to make up for that, they threw him in with Golovkin. 2 weights above. Welterweights don't go in with middleweights, especially killers, who've got the biggest KO percentage in middleweight history. And middleweight's a glamour division under an odd-year-old. Then they put him in with another killer, make him boil down to 147. Then he's in Wilderness. Then he fights Crawford at 147. But all the time they're saying he's got weight issues. And now look at this fight here. Kell Brook's hardly done anything for ages. They're making him boil down to 147 again. What about all that safety is paramount and all that? Listen, it's a load of people pimping a kid out for more money. They're just wringing that last bit out of him. And you know what? His face could end up getting smashed in for good this time. That's my opinion.
Well, don't hold back, Russ. Bloody hell.
Well,
you know.
Right, Max. I've got to go because I've got Kent coming on shortly.
Right,
so,
okay.
So we'll put this on members area tomorrow.
Yeah, just you polish that cue so when you get spanked, and you can tell every viewer on your Porky fans, you get spanked. You know what I mean? You know, just don't cry about it. That's all I can say.
Right. Okay. Then. Well, listen, good luck with your training tonight with Chris. All
yeah.
right. See you, mate.
Bye. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that were Max, Art of a Breadcrumb. Hope you've enjoyed this video. You can't share it because it's on members area, but there's another 9 coming for this month. All right. You get your 10 every month. All right. Peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep sporting boxing. Don't have nightmares. Especially you, John Fury. Big fighting man. Women love you. Men want to be you. Pop, pop, bang.